Hi, my name is Laura and I'm going to be your therapist. How are you today?
Oh, I'm okay.
Okay. Why just okay?
I don't know. I'm just kind of worried or anxious feeling, I guess, just about all of this.
Just about like therapy in general?
Yeah, just therapy and talking to someone about my feelings.
Ooh, yeah, talking about your feelings can make you really anxious. Anything in particular as to why you're anxious about talking about your feelings?
Well, I've really never told anyone my feelings before.
Okay, so it's kind of just a brand new thing for you.
Yeah.
Okay. So I hope that I can kind of cure that for you in a way. We're going to start off slow today. No major talking today, just more kind of demographic information and intake information if that makes you feel a bit better.
Okay. Yeah, I should be able to do that.
Okay. So we'll start with that and we'll kind of see where you're at after that, okay?
Okay.
Okay. So kind of let's start off with confidentiality. Do you know what that is?
I think so, but maybe just refresh my memory.
Sure. So confidentiality just states that anything that you tell me during this session, I can't tell anybody unless I have a release of information saying it's okay for me to do so. Also, though, whatever you do tell me in here, if it is about your safety, so if you say you're going to hurt yourself, hurt others, or maybe there's, a child in danger, then of course I'd be mandated by the state to report that without needing any kind of consent from you. Any questions about that? Does that make sense?
That makes sense. So, like, if my mom were to call, but I didn't sign a release, can she still get all my information?
No. So unless I have that piece of paper there that says that I can talk to your mom, I can't even tell her that you've been here.
Okay, that sounds good.
Okay, perfect. So we're going to kind of get started with just some basic demographic information. Is it okay if I write everything down so I keep it straight?
Sure, that's okay.
Okay. So, what's your name? Full name?
My name is Stephanie Marie Garcia.
Do you like to go by Stephanie or Steph?
Either or is okay. My friends call me Steph, though.
Okay. Date of birth?
My date of birth is 3/14/1990.
1990. How old does that make you?
I'm 26.
26. What race do you identify with?
Caucasian.
What gender do you identify with?
Female.
Female. Any religious beliefs you follow?
I'm a Christian.
Christian. Any branch specifically or just Christian?
I'm Lutheran.
Okay. Marital status?
Single.
Single. Are you dating by any chance?
I date here and there, but guys are just mean.
Guys can be mean.
Yeah, they can.
So no significant other at this point?
No.
Fair enough. Do you happen to have any children?
No.
No children at this time. Okay. What would you consider your sexual orientation to be?
Heterosexual.
Okay, heterosexual. What is the highest level of education that you have?
I have my associates in arts.
So just your generals, right?
Just
That's
generals,
what that is? Okay.
yeah. I was gonna do the transfer program, but I don't know if I want to do that yet.
Okay. So what's kind of stopping you from that, do you think?
It just seems like a lot of work, and it just makes me really nervous, and that's a lot of money.
Yeah, it is. School can be really expensive, so I get that. Okay. What do you do for work right now?
I work at Cub Foods.
Cub Foods. Do you do anything particular there?
I'm a cashier.
Cashier, do you like it?
It's all right.
It's a job?
It's a job.
Okay. Any physical health concerns right now?
No.
And then any kind of mental health concerns right off the bat?
I
Diagnosed
don't
with
know. I haven't been diagnosed with anything.
Okay.
No.
Any kind of symptoms that you've been experiencing?
I just feel anxious all the time.
Okay.
I just have so much anxiety about everything.
Anxiety about everything. Okay. So is that something that you'd like to maybe potentially get a diagnosis later down the road and see if that is something that is an issue for you?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I think that would be good.
Okay. So kind of just starting off, what is the reason for you coming to therapy, coming to meet me?
Well, I mean, I guess just because I'm so anxious and I borrowed some of my friend's Xanax
Okay.
and it seemed to help.
Okay. Xanax is an antidepressant, an anti-anxiety medication. So that would kind of make sense that it might be helping you with your symptoms there a little bit. Helps relax you, I assume.
Yes,
Okay.
it does.
So we'll kind of come back to that part after we get more into our intake process. Is it okay if we move on to those kind of questions?
Sure.
Okay. So first I'm just going to kind of figure out if you are oriented with different things. So first off, do you know who you are?
Yes, I do.
You do. So what would you say your name is? You said it earlier, so.
I'm Stephanie Marie Garcia.
Okay. Do you know where you are?
Yes, I'm at your clinic.
My clinic. Do you know what the date is?
Yes, it is November 30th, 2016.
Okay. Do you know what is going on right now?
Yes, I'm in therapy.
Therapy it is. Okay. So it kind of seems like your thought process is just fine. Very organized, logical, it seems like. Does that seem fair?
Yes.
Okay. Speech, you're speaking at a very easy pace. Your tone of voice is good. Is that correct as well?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So kind of let's talk about your mood. How would you say your mood has been within the past week or so?
Very anxious.
The anxiety still kind of fits through.
I just feel paranoid and
Paranoid,
worried and
worried.
sometimes I just feel forgetful.
Sometimes forgetful.
Like I have memory loss or something.
Okay. That seems to all kind of go hand in hand there. Does that make sense? How are you feeling specifically today? We kind of talked about that earlier. So the anxiety still?
Yeah, still
Today?
anxiety.
Okay. So still the anxiety. All right. So it kind of seems like overall you're very, you seem like you might be a titch worried, but you seem overall content, open, honest. Does that seem fair?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Next little section that we're going to talk about is your judgment. So we're going to talk specifically how you would handle different situations. Is that okay?
Okay, we can talk about that.
So I'm going to ask you 3 questions, one at a time, and just kind of figure out how you would handle that, okay?
Okay.
So theoretically, how long would it take you to drive from here in Minnesota all the way to Chicago, Illinois?
I would guess about like 8 hours.
8 hours or so? Okay. How would you handle working with a person you didn't particularly like?
Oh, gosh. I mean, I think I would try to work through it as best I can. I mean, if it got really bad, I'd probably tell my boss.
Okay. So kind of figuring out what you could do,
You're right.
but then if you needed to, seek out help.
Yeah, if it got really
Okay.
bad, I would ask my boss to help.
That seems like it would work out well. And last question, if you were given $1 million, what would you do with it?
Oh my gosh, I would help all the pets in the world and put them all in shelters and make sure they all got a good home.
Do you like animals?
I love animals. They bring me comfort.
Yeah, you seem really excited when you talk about animals.
Oh, they make me so happy.
Have you ever thought about doing something like that for like your job?
I mean, I guess I thought about being a veterinarian, but it would make me sad and I think I'd get really anxious just to see animals that are in pain.
Okay, so maybe not like the veterinarian part of it, but what about like something,
Like a tech?
maybe, where you kind of like help out with the animals
Yeah.
more? or maybe in a zoo.
A zoo, that's such a good idea. I didn't even think of that.
Because that you get to like feed the animals, you get to play with the
Oh,
animals.
I could pet them.
Do you notice that your anxiety might be lower when you interact with the animals?
You know, I think so. I guess I didn't even realize that.
Mhm. Pet therapy it can do wonders.
I think that's, yeah, I didn't even think about that.
Okay. Might be something to consider at some point.
Hmm.
So, next little thing we're going to talk about is your safety. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So, have you had any suicidal ideation within the past week or so, or maybe even history of it?
No, never.
Okay. Never of that. Okay. Any homicidal ideation? Ever thought about like killing somebody else?
Oh my gosh, no.
No. Any self-injurious behaviors, like cutting yourself, burning yourself intentionally?
No, I've never done that.
No. Any kind of abuse in your life currently? So any kind of verbal abuse, physical abuse, sexual abuse, emotional abuse?
Not that I can think of.
Okay. That you can think of. Overall, within your life, do you feel like you are safe?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Next, we're going to kind of talk about, I want to give you actually some time to kind of sit and process what we're kind of doing here. So,
Okay.
take some time and think about a specific question. Why do you believe that you're anxious? What's kind of going on in your life to cause your anxiety? So just take a few seconds and think about that. So now that you've kind of thought about it, what do you think is the underlying issue with your anxiety?
I think just like with work, I just get really stressed out and I just want to make sure I'm doing my job correctly. And I guess just I worry that, if I wait too long to go to school, then I'll never go back. But I want to, but it just makes me really nervous because of the money and I don't really have the best paying job. And I just want to make sure that I'm doing the right thing.
Okay. So let me just make sure I got that right. So you're really stressed at work. Okay. You're worried about doing your job correctly. You're kind of striving for that perfection at work.
Right.
You're worried about school. You don't think that you'll go back if you keep waiting, but yet you're kind of worried about going because it's a lot of money.
Right.
Okay. You're worried about the money aspect of it, mainly because you work at Cub Foods. It's not the best paying job.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Overall, you're struggling in a lot of aspects of your life, it seems like.
Yes.
Okay. And it all has to do with your worries and your concerns about doing things kind of the right way.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah,
Okay.
that sounds about right.
So overall, it seems like you've got some great insight onto what's kind of causing your anxiety potentially. What do you want to kind of get out of therapy in general?
I guess I just want to learn how to fix these issues and how to be less anxious all the time. And I probably should stop taking my friend's Xanax.
Oh yes, we recalled that earlier. We were taking the Xanax. How often have you taken that?
Well, I kind of take a lot.
Take a lot, okay?
I take a few pills a day.
That's a significant amount. Few pills, so like 3?
Like 4.
4, okay? 4 pills a day. And is your friend prescribed Xanax? Is that how she has it?
Yes.
Okay. And so she's obviously not taking it because she's giving it to you.
She really doesn't know that I'm taking it.
Okay, so we're kind of just taking it without permission.
Right.
Fair. Okay. So it kind of sounds like we want to fix or improve our anxiety,
Yes.
as well as to stop using the Xanax.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we've kind of got both of those that we want to do.
Right.
Okay, so overall here, we've kind of determined going through all this stuff that we should be fully functioning and we should be fully capable of benefiting from therapy. So I think that this is going to be a good thing for us to get started at, to kind of start focusing on what you want to get out of here, okay?
Okay. What, I have a question.
Yes.
What type of approach do you think that we'll take?
You know, with anxiety and potentially with your use, I think that, DBT might be good. DBT is all skills based, so it's kind of helping you learn skills in order to help reduce your anxiety. Now, I truly believe that here, if you are reducing your anxiety, you may then reduce your pill use as well.
Does that have a lot of group work? Because I'm really nervous to be in a group.
It can be both. It can be both group and individual based. The group work is more kind of all of you working together
Oh.
to help each other. So they're all in the same boat as you, right? They're all anxious, depressed, maybe, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So you guys are all kind of working together. Hopefully you'll find them, to be relatable. You can kind of intermingle with them fairly well, and then kind of get what you need out of there. Are you kind of concerned about like social?
Social, yeah, for sure. I just get really nervous in big groups, but if they all have kind of the same problem, that might not be so bad. But yeah, just groups and that just makes me really, really nervous. Like right now, I'm starting to get nervous about it.
Okay. Well, we can surely look at, helping improve our anxiety prior to throwing you into something like that, right? Because we don't want to, make you feel uncomfortable, although feeling uncomfortable can help us as well.
Okay.
But, baby steps. We're not looking to jump all feet in first because you have very high anxiety at this point, and we don't want to worsen that. We want to try to help that first, right?
Right. Okay, that
So we'll
sounds
kind
good.
of work on that first before we do anything else.
Okay.
Okay. Anything else before we conclude our day?
Well, I do just have a couple of questions.
Sure.
What kind of schooling do you have? Like, what's your degree? How do I know that you have like the best qualifications to help me?
That's a pretty good question. So I am currently a therapist. I went to school for 4 years for undergrad, as well as I did master's education. So I am duly licensed chemical dependency and mental health.
Okay, that does sound pretty qualified. And then I'm just really worried too that my mom will call. I really just don't want her here.
Do you
To
have
know
a
that I'm here.
close relationship with mother?
I do, but she's just really controlling, and
Okay.
I think that kind of makes me really anxious too. To make sure that I'm doing everything right for her.
Okay, so that seems fair. Like I said earlier, unless we have that release, we can't even tell her that you're here. So
Okay.
at this point, it doesn't sound like you're going to sign a release for her,
No.
right? Okay, so we won't even be looking at even discussing anything with your mom unless that's something that you want to do.
Okay, that
and,
sounds.
and maybe that's something later down the road we can maybe, invite mom in or something like that at a later time, right?
Okay.
But right now, we don't need to even think about that.
Okay, that makes me feel a lot better.
It's just going to be the two of us for now. We're going to work together to help reduce that anxiety for now. I'd like to try to get you into DBT as well at some point down the road.
Okay. Yeah, that does sound good.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Not a problem.